Coming up on Chapman News, a busy weekend for Governor Jerry Brown signing several new bills into action. We will fill you in on the details of California's new affirmative consent law.
Plus, he's not your average water polo player. When you dive deeper into the pool, you'll find out what makes Wilson Parnell unique. Wilson's story coming up in news, sports.
And Anaheim Mayor Tom Tait joins us at the desk. Is he, as his opponents say, trying to drive the Angels out of Anaheim? We'll hear his side of the story coming up later.
And I'm Carly Danner in Orange. Find out why some people are saying no to going green. Chapman News starts right now.
Good afternoon and welcome to Chapman News. I'm Rachel Chodor.
And I'm Lilly Rolnick. Jasmine Johnson has your weather forecast. But first, we begin at the state capitol, where Governor Jerry Brown signed the new affirmative consent law into action over the weekend. Governor Jerry Brown passed a new law over the weekend which affects California universities and the way they handle sexual assault. Nicole Moy has a story.
The new affirmative sexual consent law was passed at the Capitol on Monday.
Before you can go forward, touch someone intimately, you need to get permission.
California is the first state to implement the law that requires an affirmative, conscious, and voluntary agreement to engage in sexual activity when consenting with a partner. New law states that consent cannot be compromised under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or in a state of unconsciousness. Colleges are required to have sensitivity training for individuals dealing with sexual assault cases, and campuses are required access to counseling, healthcare services, and other resources.
The only difference now will be that if there was no given consent of yes, there can be legal ramifications where there may not have been before.
Danny Smith is the Director of Peer and Health Education at Chapman University and works with CARES, an anti-assault club on campus.
We've been really on the cutting edge when it comes to sexual violence or sexual misconduct on our campus. We've been implementing policy, changing policy, making sure that we're protecting all of our students.
1 in 5 women are sexually assaulted. That means on a campus of about 7,000 students like Chapman University, 800 women could be victims of sexual assault. The Yes Means Yes law will help reduce the statistic and bring awareness to college campuses throughout the state.
Kids need to know. If they don't know, then, so it's just going to continue as if the law was never there.
The law will officially take effect in January, and some hope that they'll start to see improvement within their campus.
It's just going to be a safer environment for the students and hopefully to reduce the amount of victims on campus.
As California is the first to adopt this new law, campuses and clubs are taking a step towards justice and creating a safer environment for their students. Reporting from Chapman University, Nicole Moy, Chapman News.
All California colleges and universities that receive state funding must adopt similar consent standards starting in January.
Irvine's Great Park, located on the old El Toro military base, is going back to its roots and honoring the past. Chapman News reporter Sunny Laser tells us about an Orange County first coming to Irvine.
This vacant lot attached to Great Park is about to see greener pastures after Governor Brown passed a bill Saturday to build the first veteran cemetery in Orange County.
I think having a cemetery here to honor the veterans is a proper thing to do.
Another local resident, Ingrid Chen, doesn't want the construction, arguing it's bad feng shui to live so close to a cemetery. The Lorries disagree.
We have lived across from the Catholic cemetery on Trabuco Road since 1977, and there has never been a problem. No one has escaped.
No one has escaped from the graveyard.
Yeah. Assemblywoman Sharon Quirk-Silva brought the bill to Brown, who signed off on $500,000 for the State Department of Veteran Affairs to kickstart initial cemetery plans. Construction costs are to be covered by federal funds.
The veteran cemetery is a great idea. However, I'm really disappointed in Jerry Brown's idea that he could throw our money around anytime he feels like it, anywhere.
Every Wednesday evening, the Orange Plaza Patriots meet here in the heart of the city to honor the nation's troops of the past and present. It's groups like this that demonstrate how the Great Park's plan for its veteran cemetery is meaningful to surrounding communities.
The people are respecting the vets and actually walking the walk and not talking the talk means a lot to the vets. That's very important.
If the bill keeps in motion, the veteran cemetery should be finished within the next 3 years. Reporting from Orange, Sunny Laser, Chapman News.
The Los Angeles Veterans Cemetery is at maximum capacity, and Riverside is filling up, so many veterans are looking forward to the opening of Orange County's first military cemetery. An Orange County jury convicted a Santa Ana man Wednesday of sexually assaulting 2 young girls. David Elifar Verdugo met the 2 girls at Agape Church of Prayer, where he was a parishioner and a worship leader. Verdugo was convicted of 3 felony counts of lewd acts upon a child under 14, 1 felony count of sexual penetration with a child 10 years or younger, and 1 misdemeanor count of child annoyance and disorderly conduct. The judge sentenced Verdugo to 30 years to life in state prison. Coming up, California looks to go green by banning plastic bags. That's coming up in a little while.
And we'll tell you how to get a bachelor's degree without going to a 4-year institution. The Golden State, giving community colleges a big opportunity.
And coming up on Chapman News, if this story doesn't motivate you, I don't know what will. We sit down with one Chapman student athlete whose story is like none other.
Terrifying. Just the scariest undead subhuman thing on TV, and I really mean that. But I am worried that you could give my kids nightmares if they see you, so I'm gonna have to block you. So that's it. Oh, and tell the zombies they're blocked too.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
I've got a job to do today.
I've got a job to do today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in your community.
Feels good to start fresh, right?
Sure does.
And like that, you're a job creator.
As we know, the Angels have made it back to the playoffs for the first time in 5 years. But with the return comes a cloud over their future in Anaheim.
We say there's a cloud over their future because their team's lease ends in 2019. We're here now, joined by the Mayor of Anaheim, Tom Tait. Thanks for joining us.
It's good to be here.
Well, we've read the headlines. Negotiations have stalled. Is this accurate? And what's happened?
Well, I don't know if it's all that accurate. You mentioned that lease ends in 2019. Actually, the lease ends in 2029, and there's right now there's a window where the Angels can leave, can move to a different city if they so choose. But if they do nothing, the existing lease that's been in place for 15 years will go on for another 15 years.
Well, it is known that you're most opposed, so what don't you like about it? What would be your ideal outcome?
Well, what happened was a year ago, a little over a year ago, the city council voted 4-1, I opposed it, for a lease amendment. And that lease amendment had some things that I think are very bad for the people of Anaheim. One was changing the name. The name is, the existing lease says that Anaheim shall be in the name of the team. And this lease amendment framework that the council voted for said we could drop Anaheim altogether. So it could just be Los Angeles Angels. I don't think that's a good idea because we're not part of Los Angeles. Orange County is an entirely different place. And it's one of the benefits of owning a team is that team identity. And to say Los Angeles Angels without Anaheim, I'm not willing to give that up. So that's one reason. The other reason is that that parking lot around the stadium, 150 acres, belongs to the people of Anaheim, and they had agreed tentatively to give it away for $1 a year for 66 years to actually a separate entity than the Angels, a partnership owned by Artie Moreno. And I'm against that because that land is extremely valuable, hundreds of millions of dollars, and belongs to the people of Anaheim.
All right. Well, what would be your best outcome for this negotiation?
Well, I think once the Angels look around a little bit, I know they're looking at Tustin and I suppose other places, I think they'll see, I know they'll see that Anaheim is by far their best option. And staying with the existing lease is the best option. They've got, it would, for one, it would cost hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars to replace the type of situation they have in Anaheim. And you just cannot find a place in Southern California where 3 freeways come together and you have a 150-acre parking lot, and it's so easy and convenient to go to a game with a beautiful stadium. So I'm convinced that after the Angels look and see what their other options are, they'll realize that their best option by far is to stay in Anaheim.
What if they leave?
If they leave, I don't believe they will, because again, it's not an easy task to find land like they have to build a stadium. I know even Tustin, Tustin said the other day that they don't want to give the land away, and it would take a lot of engineering, a lot of infrastructure improvement. Not to mention, you have to have the residents who want to have a stadium in their neighborhood where it brings all that impact to it. So I really don't think they're going to leave. But my job is to protect the taxpayers and the residents of Anaheim. I'm a big fan, and I love the Angels, but my primary job is to protect the people of Anaheim.
Don't you think that the people will miss the Angels in Anaheim?
Of course they would. Of course they would. I would miss them more than anybody. I grew up as a junior Angel. My family's had season tickets since they opened the stadium. I played baseball. I am a huge Angel fan. But if I thought, I just don't think they're going to leave. Because, again, the deal they have existing in Anaheim with the Anaheim fans and the Orange County fans, it is the best deal by far of anything they'll find anywhere else in Southern California.
So it sounds like, will you be going to the game tonight?
I went last night, doggone it. It was a tough one. We had our ace out there and pitched a great game, but it didn't fall our way. So.
Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We'll be following the development over the next couple weeks.
All right.
Thank you.
You guys did a good job. All right. Thank you.
Larry the giant lobsters returned to the sea in Dana Point Wednesday morning. Seasoned spearfisher Brendan Dirks of Dana Point was free diving in 20-foot waters in the Dana Point headlands when he spotted the California spiny lobster.
Dirks had been tracking the large crustacean for months now. Larry weighs in at 15 pounds 9 ounces, just shy of the state sport diving record at 16 pounds 1 ounce lobster caught by a scuba diver off Catalina Island in February 1968.
Wow, Lily, I would not go into water if I knew that there was a 15-pound lobster out there.
Definitely not, but I do want to go to the beach because the weather is way too
hot. So hot. And I know you're from Oregon, so how are you doing with this heat?
It's a lot. So I'm really hoping Jasmine will give us some good news. Is it cooling down, Jasmine?
Well, Lily and Rachel, I do have some good news for you as far as next week goes. However, the trick is going to be getting into next week. We're right smack dab in the middle of a heat wave, which is going to peak tonight and slowly but surely start to gradually come down come Sunday afternoon. If you take a look at our Orange County weather forecast, you'll see some pretty high temperatures. That's due to a heat pressure system that's moving its way down the coast and inland, causing temperatures as high as the mid-80s in Westminster and as low as the mid-70s in San Clemente. If you take a look at our southwest region report, you'll see pretty much the same thing. However, it does look like Big Bear is finally starting to cool down, so hopefully we'll see some of those cooler temperatures down in the valley and over to the coast. Give us a little break from the heat, especially in Anaheim, since it looks like they're going to be 91. Here's a look at your 5-day weather forecast. As you can see, we're in the triple digits today. So a shout out to those going to the Anaheim Stadium tonight. It is going to be hot. Make sure you wear your t-shirts. Come Sunday afternoon, we'll start to finally cool down. Sunday night, we'll see some patchy clouds, leading us into more clouds and cooler temperatures for the week. Now, I know many of you are going to want to race to the beach to escape the heat, but please be careful. This week's surf report includes a high swell that's going in towards the shore that's going to cause riptides and waves as low as 3 feet around the waist and 6 feet, which is above the foot, a foot above the head for most of us. So please be careful when you go to the piers, and if you're a beginning swimmer, please stay close to the shore. That's all the time I have for you today for weather. What does it look like for sports, Connor?
Thank you, Jasmine. Yes, we talked
West
right
lead
with
into
Hall of
weather.
Fame quarterback Warren Moon. Plus
California took one for the environment this week as the first state to ban single-use plastic bags.
Carly Daner is outside store that will soon make the switch to reusable bags. Carly, what more can you tell us about this new law?
Hi, Lily. Yeah, I'm outside one of the retailers right now who will soon be going green. Now, this law has turned into a controversial way to change our habits.
Plastic one-use bags, a convenience for consumers at the checkout line, but not so convenient after their use. They don't decompose and often end up scattered amongst streets, blowing through the wilderness, and eventually trashing beaches and waterways. Though this is the first statewide ban, over 100 cities in California have already placed their own personal citywide ban.
I think it's a great idea. They should start doing that even sooner. In Huntington Beach, they already started.
Eliminating plastic bags aims to end pollution, but will force consumers to pay up for 10-cent paper bags or shop with their own reusable bags.
I don't agree with it, and I don't think we should have to be paying for it.
Opposers of this law see this as a way for grocers to fill up their pockets by charging customers more money for bags. Others fear loss of jobs at plastic bag manufacturers. However, some companies are already taking the initiative to create reusable bags.
Since the law was signed, concerns have been raised about these reusable plastic bags and how, if not washed often, they can be a hotbed for several types of bacteria. Now, on the environmental side, they see this law as a huge step in the right direction, preventing more plastic from entering our waterways. Now, the law doesn't go into effect until next July, but consumers are encouraged to recycle their plastic bags at designated recycling centers. Reporting from Orange, Carly Danner, Chapman News.
Thanks, Carly. For more information on where to recycle your plastic bags, visit plasticfilmrecycling.org.
Long Beach officials have confirmed the first case of enterovirus in LA County. The virus that has put many kids in the hospital across the country has similar symptoms to a common cold, but can potentially turn into something deadly. Health officials are not surprised by the spread and expect more cases to follow. So far, Orange County does not have any confirmed cases of the virus, but health representatives say they are prepared for whatever comes their way. The Catholic Diocese of Orange County announced on Wednesday the plans to remodel the Crystal Cathedral. Now called the Christ Cathedral, the renovations will make the church better suited for a traditional Catholic Mass. Plans include adding an altar and closing off some of the views to the outside. The two-phase project could cost up to $113 million and will be finished in early 2017.
Some community colleges in California are going to offer bachelor's degrees. Governor Jerry Brown signed a new bill last week to allow up to 15 community colleges to pilot Senate Bill 850. Only one community college per district may be chosen for the program. Santa Ana College and Santiago Canyon College are both part of the Rancho Santiago Community College District. State Senator Marty Block introduced and co-authored the bill because of the difficulty for students to get accepted to four-year universities. More than 20 states currently allow community colleges to issue bachelor's degree. Programs offered at the chosen pilot community colleges will be a blend of online classes, weekend courses, and evening classes. The pilot program is scheduled to begin January 2017.
Connor is up next with sports. Connor, what do we got?
Thanks, you guys. Coming up, we talk life with Hall of Fame quarterback Warren Moon. Plus, those Angels begin their postseason play. And finally, you'll meet a water polo athlete whose journey will inspire you. All that and more coming up on the Best Campus Sports Show.
Yeah, I'm out at Brooklyn. Now I'm down in Tribeca, right next to the Narrow. But I'll be hood forever. I'm the new Sinatra. And since I made it here, I can make it anywhere. Yeah, they love me everywhere. I used to cop in Harlem. All of my Dominicanos right there up on Broadway. Pulled me back to that McDonald's. Took it to my stash spot, 560 State Street. Catch me in the kitchen like a Simmons whipping pastry. Cruising down A Street, off-white Lexus. Driving so slow, but BK is from Texas. Me, I'm out that Bed-Stuy, home of that that boy Biggie. Now I live on Billboard, and I brought my boys with me. Say what up to Tata, still sipping my top. Sitting courtside, Knicks and Nets give me high five. I be spiked out, I could trip.
I'm Harry Smith.
I'm Michael Seard. Name's John Dubert.
My name is Anthony Filiacci.
And you're watching.
And you're watching.
You're watching.
And you're watching Chapman News.
Little or no warning and often occur while you are away from home. Be ready for emergencies by registering your alternate phone numbers, cell phones, and email addresses at alertoc.com. You will receive alerts when an emergency occurs near your workplace or neighborhood.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Connor Williams, and this is the best campus sports show, period. Today, let's start on the hardwood as the women's volleyball team squared off against SCIAC rival Whittier Poets this past Saturday. Let's take a look at some of those highlights. One of the first points of the contest, and the Panthers have their SWAT team in full force. Right here, sophomore Ellen Cleveland with the big block point Panthers. But the Poets would respond with a block party of their own. Alexis Mills sends this one right back from where it came from. The game went 5 sets, Panthers coming up empty, and the Poets snagged the road win 3-2. Water polo is known as one of the most physical sports you can play. At first sight, this Chapman Panther would seem to be at a disadvantage. However, he proves there is no challenge too difficult to overcome. Reporter Sam Miller brings us the story.
As this year's Chapman water polo team gets set to open up the SCIAC conference play this weekend, one teammate has to work much harder than the rest. Meet sophomore Wilson Parnell, who was diagnosed with a disease called fibular hemimelia, leaving him with an amputated left leg from his knee down.
In set, like when we're in center, I was always taught, you don't fight for one side, you just take what you're given. And I think that can be applied to my leg and to any disability. I don't even like that word disability because, it's kind of like, I don't think anyone's disabled. Anyone could do anything and everyone has their strengths and you just have to use what you have.
Now, the pool hasn't always served as an outlet for Wilson to compete in a sport. It used to serve a different purpose.
Yeah, I dislocated my kneecap a lot and stuff like that. And so to rehab, I swam a lot and I ended up playing water polo, and actually like the treading and egg beating was the one thing that really didn't bug my knee. Like running for a whole year, I couldn't really run that well because I kept dislocating my knee. And so actually that's how I got into it, was because of my leg, because I couldn't really, this was the best thing for it.
For Wilson, he sees himself as just another member of the team, something that comes as motivation for his teammates.
Well, with one of the first practices, we actually had a 3-mile run, and our coach walked right up to him and was like, hey, you don't have to do this. And he kind of stood back and looked at him and asked him why. And that's just kind of his attitude. He doesn't really think that he can get out of anything for any reason. He can do everything we can.
I don't see my disability as something that hinders me, it's made me, my disability is what brought me into playing water polo in the first place, so it creates new avenues that people can't even realize. So just because, you have certain things about you that maybe are faults in other people's eyes, there could be a positive in somebody else's eyes.
For Chapman News, I'm Sam Miller reporting.
Great story. Thanks, Sam. Men's polo plays its first home game this Sunday at 9 a.m. against Washington and Jefferson. Lucky fans got a chance to meet a football legend and renowned sports agent in Orange County this weekend. Chapman News caught up with the dynamic duo in Irvine.
When you leave this earth, you can't take touchdown passes with you, you can't take money with you, you can't take possessions, but you can leave a legacy.
Irvine's marketplace filled up with fans excited to get their book signed by legendary sports agent David Meltzer and Pro Football Hall of Fame quarterback Warren Moon. Meltzer's book, Connected to Goodness, describes how instant success at such a young age, like many young athletes, left him searching for meaning beyond means. After finding a way to blend business and spirituality, the CEO of Sports One Marketing uses his newfound philosophies to inspire those around him.
I believe that the world is exactly as you make it. And in fact, I tell people all the time, change the way you look at things, and the things you would look at change. And it's physically proven.
And those baseball playoffs are underway in Anaheim. The Angels played the Kansas City Royals in Game 1 of the American League Division Series. Last night, fans filled the Big A, and it was a special night with two homegrown pitchers taking the mound to begin the series. So we start with Chris Iannetta in the third, going deep to tie the game at 1, and then it's David Freese tying the game once again with a solo shot in the 5th. The game would, however, go into extra innings, but it was Mike Moustakas that put the Royals ahead in the 11th inning to give Kansas City the 3-2 victory. The Halos' 2 through 5 hitters went hitless. That's 0 for 18 and look to even it up tonight. Pitching in Game 2, Shoemaker for the Angels and Ventura for the Royals. First pitch is just after 6:30. So, volleyball plays Pomona-Pitzer tonight at 7:30. It is beach themed for the fans. Come dressed up in swim or scuba gear. Snorkels and sunscreen are encouraged. And Panther football plays at Claremont Saturday at 1 p.m. Maritza, what's on the entertainment scene?
Coming up, I'll tell you your hot ticket for this weekend. I'm Maritza Villela, and you're watching Chapman News, Orange County's news leader.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
The next 30 seconds can save you a lot of money. Just do your laundry in cold and stick to full loads. Auto-sleep your computers. Plug your gadgets in a power strip and switch it off when you're done. Headed out? Turn back your thermostat by 10 degrees. And drive sensibly. The more energy you save, the more money you save. Find other great tips at energysaver.gov.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back. It's time for entertainment.
What do you have for us, Maritza?
All right, guys, there's a ton going on this weekend, and this is for the music lovers. Chapman College of Performing Arts kicked off its fall season yesterday with Hot Mikado. The show is a musical comedy based on the classic comic opera The Mikado by Arthur Sullivan and W.S. Gilbert. It took place in Japan during the 1940s, but also features a variety of music like American jazz, blues, gospel, and even rock. Hot Mikado will run this weekend as well as next weekend at the Walmart Theater. Tickets are on sale at chapman.universitytickets.com. If you think man's best friend is a dog, well, think again. Man's best friend might be his car. The Orange County Fairgrounds welcomed the Cruisin' for a Cure car show in support of prostate cancer last week. The show brought in thousands of cars and thousands of men. Studies show that men in their 50s and 60s have the highest risk of getting prostate cancer, and over 200,000 men are diagnosed every year in the United States. A medical team was present at the show administering free prostate cancer screenings. And if you want to dive into the deep this weekend, the Nemo submarine ride at Disneyland is officially back and running. It opened last Friday after an 8-month mini makeover. The ride resembles one of the very first attractions at Disneyland, the Submarine Voyager, which opened back in 1959. The 5 million gallon water lagoon features new updated technology and some fresh, vibrant paint. I think it's safe to say Nemo's home got a little remodel. And today, for this week's Hollywood highlight, George Clooney is officially off the market. Sorry, ladies, this past Saturday, Clooney exchanged vows with his now wife, Amal Alamuddin. The 4-day wedding extravaganza took place in Venice, Italy, the place George calls the most romantic city in the world. Amal wore a custom-made Oscar de la Renta French lace gown, and George wore a classic black Giorgio Armani tuxedo. And for those of us not lucky enough to get an invite, don't worry, because People magazine has got us covered. 25 exclusive photos of the wedding will be featured in the October 13th issue on stands today. Well, that's all I have time for in entertainment. I hope you have fun this weekend. Back to you girls at the desk.
Thanks, Maritza, and thanks for joining us. I'm Rachel Chodor.
And I'm Lilly Rolnick. Have a great weekend.